Look at the slicked off coats, like number 100. Gosh dang, she looks good. She's just a really nice cow. On YouTube, Nick Novak back for another video. Today I'm going to take you guys through my morning chores, what I have to do every single day to get everything checked and get everything fed. So first thing we do, we come through here, open up the chicken door so they can get out, let them be outside. Then I like to go inside here, make sure they have food. They're out of water, so I'll fill their water up. All these new chickens we got at the small animal auction. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Looks like the other two must have went outside. But we got all the chickens about the same size because we don't want them to bully each other. Next thing I do is I turn my hydrant on to water the bottle calves. Take a look over here. It looks like they're all pretty full. I probably didn't even need to turn it on, but we might as well fill it up while we're here. It rained last night. We ended up getting an 1.60 inch total. Great rain. And it rained hard. A lot of it ran off. Excuse me, a lot of it ran off, but you know, the majority of it was fine. So we are not complaining. Thanking God for the rain. Keep that grass growing. Next thing I do is I usually get some corn here. I usually take 2 buckets here in the morning, and then I give them about 4 buckets at night. But I have a little problem. Last night I ended up feeding them on the ground here because there was water in these, and it was right after it rained, and I didn't have my drill with me, so I just said I'll feed them on the ground, which I had a little bit of waste, but oh well. So I'm gonna drill a couple holes here in the side of these bunks just to get that water out of there. And yes, I know these are small holes. It's the only drill bit I had. All my other ones are broken. But it'll be good enough to where the corn's not leaking out of it. It wasn't too big of a hole. But it should be able to leak out of there, and I'll get these calves fed. Well, there's some of the bottle calves. Looks like they are looking forward to some corn. They look pretty hungry. A couple getting some water over there. But right here, here's the newest one I got. He's still a little skittish. I bought him from the sale barn. And I'm pretty sure I've told you guys, but his buddies and sisters, they sold for about 1,200 bucks a piece. I think they hurt his leg. They must have smashed his foot in the gate or something, and he only sold for like, I think I bought him for 350 bucks. So I got his foot back to feeling a little bit better. He still, his back right limps a little bit, but I think over time it's gonna heal. And then this little red one also. They're all looking good. There's one that I don't know how I feel about her. She's kind of sickly looking, but you know, what do you do? I mean, the thing about bottle calves is you have about 1 in 4 chance of keeping them alive, and I've bought in 21 so far. Well, 23. I've resold 13 of them, sorry, I resold 12 of them. I still have 10 of them, and I had one die on me, so I'm happy with my odds. But anyways, let's go check the big herds. Horses that look like they're doing good. They made it through the storm last night. It's like the yearlings, about half of them are laying down and the other half are just kind of hanging out, which is a good sign. Means they're full, means they're content. One thing I always worry about with yearlings is when there are storms, they kind of freak out and can run through fences and whatnot, but it looks to me like they should all be here. There's one calf, one yearling with a bad eye that I'll need to come doctor this afternoon when I go get my gun for my truck. But when I come look at him this evening, I will probably doctor it then, so I won't do it now. But another thing that I like to do every single day is in all my pastures, as hot as it is, like this pasture especially, there's no pond on it, there's no water sitting anywhere. And as hot as it is, I make sure they have water all the time. So I try to at least once a day make sure they at least have a full tank, which if the tank's full means the water's probably usually working. So we're gonna run over here, check the water, make sure the water's on, make sure the tank's full, and then we'll go ahead and check the other two pastures. Water's on. I need to, as soon as they drink this tank down, I'm actually taking this to where my bottle calves are at. My hot wire's still up, and like check this fence. If it's blinking, it's on. Okay, so I'm pulling up here to the spring cows and the open cows, and these cows right here, I only check them every other day because they have 2 ponds in their pasture, and so I know their water is going to be fine. And so when I drive by in the mornings on the days I don't check them, I drive by along the road, and if I see them, I'll stop and see, you know, them along the road. But if they're not along the road, I just go see them, you know, the next day. So there's 4 pairs out here, and there's 17 open cows. And what I'm looking for when I look at these is I'm just looking to make sure no one's limping. Everyone has, both their eyes are good, so they're not leaking out of any of their eyes, have pink eye, and kind of just making sure everybody's in. So I try to get a good head count on them. I was getting kind of nervous because I didn't see the bull, but he's just over here with this red cow. I'm guessing she must be in heat, and that's why he's following her around. Big boy must be itchy, he's scratching. So, come on, big boy. He's flat out growing too. He's 2 years old right now, and he's getting big. He's gonna be a big old hoss. Everybody looks good here, so we'll see them again. And today's Wednesday. You'll probably see me again on Friday, unless something changes. But if you guys just see, this grass is lush over here. There is tons of grass. These cows will be good. So a lot of these cows were our fall cows that were open, and there's a handful that we're gonna keep, you know, to make into our spring herd. But there's probably 7 out of the 10 that we're gonna sell because they either had a small calf, they prolapsed, or just didn't milk very good. And so our thought is all these good cows are actually gonna breed up fairly quickly, and so the majority of these red ones we'll keep. There's 1 red that we're not keeping, and then there's like 5 black ones we're gonna get rid of. The reason we're keeping the bull with them all summer is because we want them to be for sure bred. Then when it comes, you know, time when the grass is not green anymore, when we want to sell in, say, October, November, maybe even December, we want to make sure these cows are for sure bred. Even if they're 4 or 5 months along, then someone can buy it to put in their fall program. But for us, when we preg check, you know, all the ones that have a tight window, the 1 cows that we want to keep, then they'll be easy for us to keep them. There's those 2 black calves, this Hereford, and that number 2's calf is Scarlet. That's my home raised calf. I ended up buying a bunch of, there's 12 Herefords last year. I ended up keeping her because she's so tame, and we bred them back to a really nice bull that we rented from one of my good buddies back in Scott City. and we really like the calves out of them. I was hoping my Scarlet cow that that was my very first, her mom was my very first cow. I was hoping that she'd have a heifer, but she had a little bull calf. So we'll end up selling him at the end of this grazing season. But this 2015 heifer out of this Hereford, I'm thinking about keeping her. She's looks really nice. Let me see if I can come around her and kind of see what she looks like. But she's just a very tame little heifer calf, and her mom milks really good. It's not short, but she's just a really nice cow. So if some of you remember the way this pasture's laid out, there's 3 separate pastures on it. So on the far east side is our open and spring cows, on the far west side is our fall cows, and in this middle pasture is where we actually calve out. We calved out our fall cows last year, and we kept them here all winter long. So I just drove in here just to see kind of what the grass is looking like, and it's grown. I mean, look at that green grass. There's a lot of grass in here, which is good. There's been nothing on it all summer. And we've just found that if we keep this pasture for only winter grazing, we feed a lot. This year we're gonna feed a lot more alfalfa and kind of let them use all this grass as their filler grass instead of feeding Sedan. We planted Milo in my farm ground this year, so probably all of the spring cows will be grazing that this winter. And our fall cows, excuse me, and these fall cows will be over here. And we really liked it like this because as tall as this grass gets during the summer, and the trees and the cover, especially there's these trees down there, it gives those calves a lot of cover to get away from the weather and the wind. The one bad thing is it's so tall, it's hard to find those calves when they're first born. But if you can get past, you know, a week of having them, and you know, when I feed them, I call them up, feed them, then they'll bring their calves. I can tag their calves in. But anyway, we don't need to be talking about calving because we still have a couple months to go. We have other things. Holy cow, that scared the crap out of me. A rabbit ran right underneath my Jeep, scared the living crap out of me. Anyways, let's head to the far west side, go check on these fall cows, make sure they have water because I didn't check them yesterday, and continue on. So this west side of this pasture that we leased, they actually just drilled for oil, and I'm happy the landowner's getting some money from that. It's always good to have oil on your property. I'm a firm believer in that. It helps pay the bills. But the one bad thing is they flat out tear up the ground. I mean, I bet they've taken 4 or 5 acres from me, which is fine. I mean, it's just my lease property. It's their right to drill oil. I'm not dogging on them by all means. But they do a lot of dirt work to make it flat and make it drain the right way, which I'm glad, so they don't, you know, tear up the ground or have oil going into the pasture. But they're just rough on things. Let's put it that way. That's the easiest way to put it. Anyways, happy for the landowner. Hopefully, from the sounds of it, it sounds like it's a pretty good well, so hats off to you guys. Anyways, we're gonna pull up here to these cows, check the water and the mineral, make sure the mineral's good, and try to find them. I don't see these cows anywhere. My guess is they're down in those trees somewhere. I drove around the whole dang pasture. I could not find them. They were down in the hill. I just didn't look hard enough. I drove right up on the hill. I didn't see them and kept going, and so I went ahead and made 2 passes around the pasture, but I finally found them. These girls are getting fat. They flat out. There is so much grass here. There is zero reason for them not to be gaining, from when they wean their calf, over 200 pounds probably this summer. I mean, look at the slicked off coats, like number 100. Gosh dang, she looks good. Okay, so these cows will start calving, I believe, October 1st is be the day they start calving. Those 2 Charolais cows, they'll start calving I think August 14th, so it's gonna be a little bit earlier than the rest, which is fine. I don't like calving in August because it's still hot and it's hard on those little calves. But oh well, we bought them. I got them bought really good, and the first year I should break even on them, and then if I sell the cow, you know what bred cows are costing right now. I'll make some good money on them. But they're doing good. Got calves coming really soon. I mean, it's almost July. It's just crazy how fast time is flying. I don't know. I think we're on the outs of the fall herd. You know, like we weaned our calves this year at 450 pounds, and which is good. But and then we had talked about, you know, once we wean those calves, we're gonna wean them at my house. That's what we're gonna do this year, and then run them on my grass and kind of background them. You know, the more I got to thinking about it, I'm like, you know, if you raise a 450, 500 pound calf in the fall, you're gonna run it on grass for, I don't know, say, you know, all summer long. They're gaining 1.5 pounds. They're gonna be 7.25, 750 probably by the end of the summer. You know, but if you have a good spring herd and you calve early enough, those cows are gonna, you know, wean off a 650, 700 pound calf. So, you know, you're keeping that calf all winter long, feeding those cows a little bit better than what you'd feed a spring cow. And it's just, you know, you're trying to take care of them calves for 4 more months out of the year. And so I think we're gonna keep the fall herd until, you know, either everybody doesn't breed back, or until we get, you know, a small enough herd to where it makes sense for us to sell out and buy into a spring herd. But that's kind of our thought process. Is those red cows that were open, excuse me, them red cows that were open, that was their first calf last year. And so, you know, we kind of understood why they didn't breed back, because the breed back the second time is always the hardest. And that's going to be a good, you know, foot in the door for that spring herd as those cows. Yes, we, you know, lose 5 months of them not having a calf, but we're still going to get a paycheck next year from those cows. It'll just be later on in the year. But yeah, that's kind of our plan right now. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but that is the plan going forward. So this is kind of my morning schedule routine. Kind of the chore list to do is make sure all the cows are in, check waters, kind of just looking at overall health of cows, bottle calves, chickens, kind of doing that stuff. And that's kind of my morning. Right now it's 1:30. I get off work. I work at UPS in the mornings to get the free insurance for the whole family. And that's from 5:30 to 9:30. So I get home around 10:15. By the time I shower, it's about 10:30, sorry. And get outside. It takes me about 3 hours to do all my chores. And then I go inside, usually eat lunch, see the girls a little bit before their nap. And then during their nap, I'll try to get some computer work done, or I'll go back outside and start on a project. And then, you know, my evening chores take about 1.5 hours. So then usually it's been about 7:45, because it's so nice then. It's the only time it's nice, you know, late in the evening. By about that time, you know, we're outside till about 9 o'clock, get inside, put the girls to sleep, and I try to be in bed by 10:30. So anyways, guys, I think I'm gonna end it here. I know it's kind of a short video, but I wanted to kind of give you guys kind of a show of what my mornings look like when I get back from work on the ranch. And it's kind of basically the same thing every single day, but it's very important things to do. So we'll catch you guys in the next one. Oh, before I forget, we need 50 more subscribers to get that giveaway. I'm going to be giving away some of these hats. So if you want a hat, I'd be telling your friends and everybody to subscribe, and I'm going to pick one lucky winner. I might even pick 2 if we can get there. Oh, let's say by next week on Wednesday. Let's give it 7 days for 50 subscribers. That should not be too hard, but let's see if we can make it happen. Sorry, I was getting that back on. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.